Today on the show, there's a clown in a cornfield, and clown in a cornfield makes sense. Then Josh Hartnett fights for his life on a plane full of assassins and Mormons in fight or flight, and two agents fall in love and are chased by the Shadow Force. Find out which of these movies gets the rare F, but first, let's start with Clown in a Cornfield.
Hey, check it out, it's Friendo!
Clown in a Cornfield is based on a YA book that's in a slasher movie universe, where a young girl and her widower father move to a small town for a fresh start, only something sinister is going on, and all the adults in town tell her to stay far away from the popular kids, who are actually the most normal ones in town. They're all certainly types, for sure, but they are very, very funny, charismatic, and have really great chemistry with each other. The lead, Katie Douglas in particular, is really good in this, and can get a laugh from her reaction to the town's population alone. Her dad starts out like a typical clueless dad in a movie like this, but he gets a lot of good moments in it as it goes on. I was into the characters' banter with one another well before the clown shows up and starts massacring everyone. And it's not a Terrifier or an It knockoff either. This more so has the spirit of something like Thanksgiving. I wouldn't say it's a great film, it's extremely easy to figure out who's behind all of this carnage and what the reason is. And while there's good laughs and fun gore, there's some stock jokes, like a character saying, "This is just like an 80s horror movie." Or when they don't know how a rotary phone works, and this being the kind of movie that it is, it goes on autopilot for an explain everything climax, but even that still has some good kills and performances I like. It's a B. With a title like Clown in a Cornfield, you know the kind of movie you're getting into, and it delivers on that. Next up, the carnage moves up to the sky in Fight or Flight. Stay tuned.
Can you please do something with this?
You cannot just walk around this plane with a gun.
No shit. That's why I asked you to do something with it.
Fight or Flight was one I didn't realize I was seeing until the day I saw it. I did see ads on TV, but I actually thought it was just another Netflix movie. It even does the thing with opening action sequence cut to 12 hours earlier for no reason. Yes, thank you. If you didn't do that, I wouldn't have known that there'd be an action scene on a flight in an action movie called Fight or Flight. That being said, this is actually a damn fun movie, where Josh Hartnett is hired to find a criminal on board a plane, only the plane is full of psychotic hitmen who are also looking for the same person. The closest I could compare this to would be that it's a cross between Bullet Train and Smokin' Aces, if they snorted pixie sticks. It has a typical setup where Hartnett is a burnt-out dude, chain-smoking and drinking himself to death. Only the movie isn't quite parody, but almost. Booze practically makes him stronger. Not to mention when he chugs adrenaline and goes apeshit with a chainsaw. They've assembled a collection of very enjoyable side characters here. I like the pilots who are thrilled about this event, because if they land the plane safely, that means they might get a book or movie deal. There's flight attendants who still want to keep first class happy because they don't want a bad review even when first class is full of triads. I like one guy in the control room who's just a random background guy, but he's the one who keeps finding all the information they need. There's predictable turns in it, then one involving a company that was a fun surprise. Parts can be too familiar, like how Hartnett's backstory is literally just Bruce Willis's backstory in The Last Boy Scout. It's one where you certainly expect it to go very, very over the top in the climax, and it does, but it works because the whole movie is like a cartoon. This was a fun high B+. Not only did I have a good time, but it left me wanting a sequel. Up next, another movie where assassins chase people. This time they're after a married couple who have left the Shadow Force. Stay tuned.
How did they find us?
I don't fucking know.
Mama, that's a bad word. The F word.
Oh, shit. Hey, sorry, so sorry.
Well, I guess it makes sense I referenced Smokin' Aces in the review for Fight or Flight, because Shadow Force is from the director of Smokin' Aces, Joe Carnahan. A director who I like a lot and whose last movie, Cop Shop, topped my year-end best of list in 2021. And it is quite impressive to go from a movie that I absolutely loved to this film, which will no doubt make my worst of the year list. Where did this movie come from? What happened during the production? This can't possibly be what anyone had in mind for this at the start. Here's a movie that not only belongs buried on streaming, but with a poster that looks like a VOD thumbnail with a title that sounds like a lost Steven Seagal film. Everything about this is so television. From table scenes shot like a Real Housewives episode to flashbacks that look like a commercial for diamonds that would air during it, to horrendous banter from the couples that would be rejected on an episode of The Ropers, and dear effing God, the obnoxious 90s style comic relief kid character. The plot will be going on, and no matter what the tone, nearly every scene is interrupted by the kid saying things like, "Daddy, what's a brick house? Is Mommy hurting the bad people? What's a booty?" It doesn't stop. They'll be walking through the sewer, and he says, "Is this where people go to the bathroom?" It's like being stuck in an obnoxious car ride. Sometimes that's literally what it is, when the kid sings the entirety of a Lionel Richie song, causing the dad to take his own hearing aids out. I was jealous. There's nothing fresh here. It just pulls from everything, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, to Kill Bill, to J.J. Abrams' Undercovers, to Ballistic, X vs. Sever. And as notoriously bad as that movie is, this one is infinitely worse. It's like there's a whole first act missing, so it kicks the plot into gear before Kerry Washington even has a line. We learn about the villain's backstory because he's watching a story about himself on CNN, and there's zero chemistry with the two leads. She has better chemistry with Mark Strong, who, by the way, given how many times he's shot and blown up in this, I can't believe they didn't make his character a cyborg. The movie was begging me to root for the villains. Yeah, the dialogue and the acting from people who are good actors are all terrible, but I was hoping the action would at least be good. It's not. You can see the low budget, like an action scene where it's all shown in quick flashes, that way they can get it shot fast. Or a high-speed car chase that lingers on shots to where you can see that the car is moving at about 2 miles an hour. This has more than one scene where a character accidentally looks at the camera. Finding out Joe Carnahan of The Grey and Narc directed this is odd. This is a hardcore F. It's one thing to be a bad action movie, but it's been a long time since I've seen an action movie be straight up annoying. I thought it'd be hard to top Marked Men, Rule and Shaw as worst of the year, but move over, it's gonna be really hard to top Shadow Force. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to subscribe to us today and click the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.